let's get right into this because this woman is extremely interesting, and people that are listening. My name is Bob Friedenthal, and LinkedIn it's Bob Holt, Holt, Friedenthal, Friedenthal. I call myself a LinkedIn junkie, and I started doing these video interviews about 11 months ago. I've done something like 180 of these or more. I'm lost. I don't even count. I just know that they achieve success. What I'm doing is I'm putting the human equation into your social media. Instead of this, it's talking and watching people, and they say that it takes what 15 to 30 seconds for people to make a decision as to whether they like you or not, right? And they look at your body language and your facial gestures. So, Lisa, first let's start with this. Give us your contact information.
My website is peakperformancemindsetcoaching.com, and my email is lisa@peakperformancemindsetcoaching.com. My cell phone is 781-718-9288.
Beautiful. Did you give an email address for that? I don't know.
Yes, it's the lisa@peakperformancemindsetcoaching.com.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay. Tell us what you do.
Well, I'm a mindset coach. And what that means is I help people who are stuck. They have these limiting beliefs. And because we get programmed, and people don't realize that we get programmed at a very young age. So when we're born, we are given the belief of our parents, our grandparents, and as we go into school, we're given beliefs from our teachers, and we're given all this information. But what if that doesn't work for you? What if that's not really your true belief system? And now you're in this paradox. What do I do with that? And I help people release those belief systems. For instance, I was not a great student, and I started out in kindergarten with learning disabilities. Everyone was reading, everyone knew their alphabet, their numbers. I did not. And everyone every year was ahead of me. I was spent every summer in summer school. So I didn't think I was smart. So that was a belief system that I held, that was a limiting belief that held me back. And what I ended up doing was I recently wrote a book called In Every Belief is a Lie. And what I mean by that is we all have programming. How do we know that it's our truth? So it's about really learning to go inward and eliminating these belief systems so that we can decide for ourselves and become sovereign, because what is your truth may be different from my truth. And there's no judgment there. People should be allowed to have their own belief systems. I was recently at a Native American elders gathering. It was fascinating. And one of the elders was talking about how you have a robin and a blue jay. And it would be like a blue jay telling the robin, "You make your nest all messy. You don't eat the right things. You don't feed your children the way you should." And it really hit home. That was such an amazing metaphor.
Really stuck. So yeah, so you're this is one of the questions I love to ask mindset coaches. What percentage of the population, because of everything that's going on right now, do you think is stressed?
Including myself, 100%.
Yeah. I get the same feedback from everybody. You know,
Yeah.
we're entering interesting times, but instead of retrenching, you need to be doing a forward, I don't know what the term is, assault. You can't sit there, because what you'll learn is that you can take control and get on top of this no matter what stage we are, right?
Well, exactly right. And even though I do this for a living, I still sit there and I get anxious. And then my friends will say, don't you have some things that you do around that? And I start to laugh because we're all human. But it is important because your words and how you language is important. It's a direct reflection of who you are. And when you speak, you are setting a direction for your life. So you always want to speak in positivity. One of the things I always teach people is something around reframe, is that look at something from a different perspective. So nothing is truly bad. It's just looking at it from, what is this teaching me? What is the lesson? How did I grow from this?
Great statement. Great
So
statement.
when you reframe your situation, you can look at what we thought was a bad thing and we can say, wow, what a gift. Now, when we're in the middle of it, not so much. And if someone told me that this was a gift, I would tell them that I, want to smack them on the side of the head. But it is important to look at everything because we are always exactly where we're meant to be.
This is so fascinating.
Yeah, we're always where we're meant to be. And our beliefs guide us. And when we have, for instance, when I for 20 years, I tried to write this book. And the belief in my head was, you weren't a great student. What do you have that someone else doesn't have? How can you say that you're, an expert in a field when there are other people who may be more qualified? And as I sat with that, I thought, well, I've studied and studied, and I mean, I wouldn't go to me unless I knew that I had the credibility and knew what I was doing. So I must know something. And I started to list my limiting beliefs, the lies that I taught myself. And as I did that and released them, there's something called the law of attraction. All of a sudden, things and opportunities started to come to me in ways that I couldn't believe. And the fascinating part was, all of a sudden the title came, In Every Belief is a Lie. And I thought, this is going to be all over the internet. Everyone's going to have it. And I went on, it was nowhere. And then I went on GoDaddy to grab the URL and it was available. The .com, the .not, the .net, the .org, all of that. And I thought, wow, this is amazing. And once I put that together and I had the image for the cover of my book, the book poured out of me. For 5 months, it was almost nonstop writing.
Wow.
And I realized that I had been blocking that information from coming because I didn't believe in myself. When I shifted that, then not only that came, but all of a sudden these speaking opportunities and all of these other opportunities that I never would have imagined would come. So the power of releasing these lies is life-changing. And I say it's a guide to exposing what controls your life and claiming your undisputed truth. Because again, and here's an example, and not to be political, but you have one person who watches Fox News, another person watches CNN, another person watches MSNBC. Everyone thinks they're getting the truth. So if that's the case, how can that be? Everyone's getting some truth, and everyone's also getting partial truth, or the truth is missing, because it can't be that all people are getting the same information from three completely different sources from three different perspectives.
Absolutely right.
So we, as a culture, it's important to be mindful because we need to come together and help each other out, regardless of what your belief systems are. And so many people have felt disenfranchised and hurt. And that's no place. We were here about, what is this about freedom of speech? We need the right to express ourselves and hold our own value system and be true to ourselves, regardless of what other people think.
This is all very, very appropriate timing and information because of the stress level that everybody has, and how do you get out of your own trap, because you're
Right.
trapping yourself. So I have two favorite expressions I use: thinking outside of the box,
Yeah.
one of my favorites, and then the other one is dipping your toe in the water. If you like the temperature, you'll take the plunge. But if you don't take those steps, you're stuck. And right now, like you were saying, 100% of the people are feeling stuck. Now, we're potentially going into a recession. How do you get out of that? Not thinking that, oh, I'm going into recession. How do I retrench? No, that's not the right thinking. The thinking is getting on top of it, maybe doing things a little bit differently than what you did before, but do it. Do it.
It's being flexible, because when you have the mindset, there are some amazing corporations that were founded during recessions.
Right.
It's like there are needs that happen when the economy turns, and the economy always bounces back. It's all cyclical. So sometimes we have to ride it out. Sometimes there are other things that we can do, but there's always opportunity no matter what. So when you have the mindset of knowing that there's always opportunity, and when you believe in yourself and know that every single person here is a thumbprint. Every single person has their own unique belief systems and their own thumbprint. And when you get those beliefs that are blocking you, then you have something to contribute to this world. And there is no small contribution.
Yeah.
I used to think, oh, I have to be like Oprah or Deepak Chopra. No, what I have to say and what I do is important on any level. If I can influence and help one person, there's a ripple effect that happens throughout the community and throughout the world.
Great statement.
So knowing that and stepping into and breaking through your fear, because the unknown is scary. It absolutely is. But I always find that it's the fear of the fear that's scary. Once you do it, you'll find that once you've overcome your fear, there was nothing to be afraid of.
I love this. I love this so much, because that's well, one of the stories I tell. My wife and I have been married 38 years. We've gone to marriage counseling for 39 years. If we had, and this is a true story, and if we hadn't taken the steps, we would have probably gotten divorced, but we decided to persevere. We put the investment of our personal time into it, and we have a great marriage. We have a great marriage. So, you gotta spend some time, at least be willing to call Lisa to discuss what your traps are. Just get out of that box. So anyway, I think we've come to the end of a very interesting conversation here. Lisa, give us your contact information all over again.
Yes, it's peakperformancemindsetcoaching.com. And my email is lisa@peakperformancemindsetcoaching.com. And my cell phone is 781-718-9288. And if you're interested in purchasing the book, it's available on Amazon. And you can go onto my website and click on Every Belief is a Lie, and there should be a link there to take you to the Amazon page. I'm very proud of this book. It's been a lifetime of the making. It has a lot of information in there, and there are videos. There's some videos that you can go on and tools that you'll be able to utilize as well from the book.
Yeah, this is just wonderful, wonderful information and stuff. I can't wait to read the book myself. I'm always thinking about, how do I improve? How do I improve? How do I improve? And it takes people like you that are taking an outside look into what's going on in here, right? Isn't that what's happening?
Exactly.
And it's our own traps that we create. So anyway, again, my name is Bob Holt, Holt, Friedenthal, Friedenthal. My phone number is area code 310-736-5787. And my email address is bob@mycity.com. I'm a LinkedIn junkie. I've been doing it for 15 years and I love it. And everything, tomorrow will be a new thing, right? That's what we're living in, a world of technology. And if you're not adopting technology along with what you're doing with this up here, you're going to miss the boat, I'm afraid. So I'm very concerned. So Anyway, I'm going to be signing us off, and I thank you so much.
Thank you.
Take care.